Digestion and You. So when your body's not digesting properly, you will have certain results of inadequate digestion. Those things can be something as easy as heartburn, gas, or bloating, or you could get ulcers, you could get allergies, joint pains, headaches, pretty much many symptoms that you will have in your body can be the result of inadequate digestion. So, food that's not digested and broken down in the body will not be absorbed and used by the body. So, even things as easy as hormone imbalances, thyroid imbalances, even anxiety and depression can be the result of inadequate digestion. So when your body can't absorb nutrients, then this causes different symptoms because there's different areas of the body that are nutrient deficient. And then your body's going to let you know something's wrong by having symptoms. The longer this cycle continues, the worse the symptoms will be, the worse your body will feel. So correcting digestion is the first step in healing the body. So, what exactly is digestion? Well, digestion is the process of breaking down food particles into their smallest basic components so that they may pass through the gut wall and be used to feed and fuel the body. These basic components are vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fats, and antioxidants. This process happens in your stomach. And if it doesn't happen in your stomach, again, you're going to get some nutrient deficiencies. So there are two ways to have nutrient deficiencies. One way is that the body is not given enough of a specific nutrient, meaning that you have a poor diet or you're missing a certain nutrient in the diet that you're eating. But in most cases, what I find with nutrient deficiency is that the body is failing to absorb or utilize the nutrients, meaning you ate it, but you can't use it because you're not digesting properly. So some of the ways that this can happen is that there may be a key nutrient that's missing, such as you may need B9 and B12 to utilize iron and to help with absorption of nutrients through the small intestine. So if your B vitamins are not enough, then you can have a nutrient deficiency. If you don't have the adequate enzymes needed to actually digest the foods that you're eating, then you'll have a nutrient deficiency. If there's a particular nutrient carrier that's missing, for example, there are certain fat-soluble vitamins that need fat to transport them. And if you're having trouble metabolizing fat, then you could have trouble with these particular nutrients. And also, you could just have something that's blocking your ability to digest completely, such as a virus, a bacteria, or a toxin, and that will stop digestion across the board and cause different symptoms. So enzymes are very important because the enzymes are what actually digest the food that we eat. Without enzymes, we cannot break down foods into their component nutrients that we need. Now, if something is blocking our enzyme production, like a bacteria, for example, or if we do not produce enough of an enzyme, let's say if you're lactose intolerant, then your body does not make enough lactase, then you're not going to be able to fully digest your food because you don't have those enzymes. So sometimes adding enzymes in is important. Like, for example, you can take lactase enzyme if you're lactose intolerant and therefore be able to digest those dairy sugars, or you need to look at getting rid of the thing that's blocking the enzyme production, such as the bacteria. Getting rid of the bacteria will allow the body to be able to make enzymes again, and then you'll be able to digest. So it's important to look at the enzymes. So when food gets into your stomach and you're not able to actually digest it, the food's not getting broken down, it's just going to sit in the stomach, undigested, until it ferments or putrefies and gets liquidy enough to move from the stomach to the small intestine. Big chunks of food can't fit through the little sphincter from the stomach to the small intestine, so it just sits in there. When it does sit in there and ferments or putrefies, it creates a gas, and that gas can lead to acid reflux, it can lead to bacterial overgrowth, it can lead to candida, and all kinds of different disruptions in our digestive system. So once the food gets digested in the stomach, it moves into the small intestine. The small intestine is where the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream so that they can travel to the cells and be used for fuel. Anything that's too big to be absorbed, meaning it hasn't completely broken down into those smaller components we talked about earlier, then it's going to travel through the small intestine into the large intestine because it can't get absorbed. And this is where the microbiome lives. And these larger pieces of undigested food will then get broken down further so that they can be eliminated from the body. However, this can also cause disruptions in the small intestine. It can cause inflammation and it can block absorption of other nutrients. So it's important to make sure that the intestines are working properly. So again, with the small intestine, it contains what are called villi, which are tiny finger-like projections that the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream through these villi. So the villi capture the nutrients as they move through the small intestine. Again, if the nutrients are too big, they're going to hit all these little finger-like projections as they go through, and they're going to cause some damage and inflammation. And this damage and inflammation can further reduce your absorption rates that can lead to things like leaky gut and even food sensitivities, because the body is going to notice that certain foods or certain chemicals are irritating to the villi. And you can see the difference between a normal villi and a damaged villi, how you have much less room to absorb nutrients. And again, your nutrient absorption reduces. Now, in the large intestine is where the microbiome lives. And the microbiome is made up of good bacteria and good yeasts, and its job is to break down any undigested food so that we can poop it on out. So if you have a lot of undigested food, because there's already an imbalance going on further up the chain, you can't digest the food in the stomach, food's not being absorbed through the small intestine. If you have a lot of undigested food going into the large intestine, then this can cause an imbalance in the microbiome, resulting in too much bacteria or too much yeast, which is candida. And this can cause a lot of gas and bloating and constipation and even diarrhea. So this is why the microbiome is so important. This is why people talk about probiotics, but probiotics are only going to work if we know that there isn't something else blocking digestion further up the road. So this is why your digestive system is so important to your overall health. And correcting digestion is the first step in healing the body. So a happy digestive system equals a happy you. So we've probably talked about your digestive system in your sessions, and this is why it's so important to